Okay, folks. Just want to give a big shout out to 87JKM for becoming a channel member. Just want to say thank you and welcome to the channel as a member. So let's get back to it. Okay, now I just hit that with a little bit of a hairdryer. Just wanted to don't want it lifting too much and working in with what I've got here. So a little bit of phthalo green, a little bit of oxide red. I want a real dark here, up and along here for the time being. I'm going to put a good bit of black in it as well, but also a bit of heat. Make sure that red is in there plenty. Some, what's that called again now, folks? I've been away so long I can't remember. Liquid fine detail over here. And a little bit of spirits just to loosen it up a little bit. Well, then let me see, this along here-ish. Keeping it lovely and dark and dancing it around, folks. Trying to not completely cover it up. It's the idea of it, folks. Okay. And the same over here, just nice and loose. Just dancing that around. There we go. Just for the time being now. Creating the idea at the moment. That's all that I'm doing here. Alright, just as a slight wipe out, just along here. Alright. I want you to see the tree stumps along here. This is why I'm doing it this way. Okay. Hi folks, just a wee quick announcement. I've started one of those new member thingy-majigs. I would really appreciate your support. It helps the channel and it helps me. Just click the wee join button below the video. It's only a couple of quid a month. Anyway, thanks folks, it's very much appreciated. And now let's get back to it. Just scraping that brush onto you because it'll help lift the back end of it out so we can still see some of this this red underpainting. Okay, now what I will do is I'm just going to take a little bit of a cloth here and just lift it just here and here, and then whenever I come in with darker and lighter spots you will see that texture. Okay, that's hard for you to see on the camera, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on this the later area here before I move into the grass area. Okay. So let's get myself a nice deep orange. Nice deep orange. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this here just to grey this out a touch. A little bit of raw umber as well. Not much now, just enough. Nearly there. Let me see, look at that. That's not so bad now. That's not so bad now. Maybe a bit brighter. A little bit more white. I'll just mix it up over here. A little bit of blue in it as well. A little bit of that cerulean in it. Tiniest bit brighter. Tiniest bit brighter. Just dancing in and around this area. I don't want to cover it up. Lovely. Now, a little bit more deeper up at the top here and let that fade down. Look at that. Alright, lovely. Now a little bit more over on this side, just over here. Let that be in there. Now, I just want to gently bring this in here. Watch this now, just these back row here. All right, okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a slightly different brush. Not a slightly different brush, I'm going to use a different brush. Oh, if I can find it. I've got an alarm going off for some reason. What is that alarm for? It's 3:30. I don't know. Anyway, back to here. So this is almost a pure yellow sunset. I'm going to put some white in it just to make it a wee bit opaque on here. Okay. Now, when this is all dried up, you'll really be able to come in and really make that a lovely orangey yellow all around the edges. Very nice. Now, I'm just going to work with a dry brush here. A smallish dry brush. I'm just going to now work up into the edges of this here. Just want them nice and softened with what I have down there. Look at that, just working that on the edges there. That's lovely. Really softens that edge. Really helps. Really ideal. It's lovely and warm over here. Just having that reach out a little bit. Now I'll do the same. I'll do the same over here. And again, just dancing that about, folks. Trying your best not to create anything too uniform. too uniformed. Okay. Just softening it. Keeping it soft. For now. You want to put your edges on a wee bit later. You want to sharpen them a wee bit later whenever it's dry. The more control that way. Put your soft edges on whenever it is whenever it's wet. Well, you can still do it whenever it's dry, but it's easier whenever it's wet. And then put your hard edges on whenever it's dry. Just the easier way to do it is all I'm suggesting there. Not the only way, just an easy way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the grass. If I can find me a nice brush to do so. Now I've got multiple choices here, multiple choices. So let's get some yellow into it. Get a nice browny green going on here. Bit brighter, I think. I'll be wanting to see it, of course. Let me see here. I think it's a bit too dark, but what I'll do is I'll lay this down, just dancing it around, and then I'll come over with a lighter version of it. Put a little bit of that blue in it too. And obviously you see I'm not completely covering it up here. So a little bit of the cerulean blue over here. A little bit, just to brighten this up a touch. So let's see here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's lovely. That's a nice color, but it's not the one I'm after. A little bit more yellow. Nice and cool there. I might actually keep that one there. Just as a cool patch. That was a happy little accident, as Bob Ross likes to say, eh? keeping that little patch there. In fact, you know what? I'm actually going to create another cool patch on purpose this time. Just a vanity patch. Because they are there. They're everywhere. All many different colors and shades. Oh, they're covering everything up and making it work. And there's me just talking for the sake of talking. Let me see. Right. Calm down. I haven't been here for a while. Just calm down. That's better. Nice and slow. That's better. Yeah, I just found myself getting a little excited. I haven't been here in a while, and just found myself just getting a bit carried away. Caught up in the moment, which of course there's just nothing wrong with, but trying to control my brushes here, and I don't want to run away with it all. Just trying to create a nice grassy area here. Very good. Now, as for an underpainting, I'm nearly done here. Still a bit of work to do along here. Of course, as you can see, the water here needs work, and I'm just going to. I'm going to shallow that water out a little bit more. But in fact, you know what? I'll do it now just to remind myself that's what I'm doing. So I'll just put that there, like so. So the water is coming along to about to here. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. All right. Now, let's get this water area sorted here. A little bit warm, but pretty dark in here. Pretty dark now. A little bit of mineral spirits there just to loosen this up. So pretty dark along here, just to create the shadow of this. And bring it to here. And then just dab it in, letting it soften. Okay, now I will use a bit of kitchen roll rather than the cloth. The cloth is a bit, can be a bit strong in lifting things. Whereas the kitchen roll is good. I'm thinking here, folks. The kitchen roll is good for lifting only a little bit at a time. All I'm doing here, folks, And then in the reminders of what I'm trying to do. And all I mean by that is I will come along a little bit later, whenever it's dried, and have more control over being able to properly put these in. Okay. Now, before I go any further, just wanna. It's nice, isn't it? Not nice. Okay, right. So, some more darks. And then, I think I'll be calling it a day until this dries up a bit. And what I think I'll do is I'll just lay down the idea of the tree trunks here. Oh, and no, I'm not done yet. Not done yet. I forgot about a little spot that I've covered this up a bit too much. I have. That's all. Covering it up a little too much. Too much. A little too much. Okay. It's not exactly where I want it, so I'm a bit. But you know where it is? It's at the place where it'll be okay whenever I get it'll be okay whenever I get the second painting, whenever I get it dried and get to work on it. Okay, so now, again, these are just ideas. Tree trunks. All subject to change. Oops. Wrong one. All right. It needs, for my eye, it needs a bit more warmed up in areas, so I'm going to lift a little bit of this. In fact, put a little bit of spirits on it. Just lift a little bit of the paint that's already on it here. And that'll reveal the background. That nice red background. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to soften this so you just don't see the, look at that there. Isn't that lovely? I'm just going to gently soften this, folks. Barely touching the canvas. I just don't want you to, look at that. Isn't that lovely? No, I'm actually going to do a little bit more of it, so yeah. It's that nice, I'm going to do more of it. Okay, so little dabs here. Let it sit for a second, and then go over it just to lift it. And the reason you're letting it sit is just to let it soak in it, just for a moment, and then you lift it. Look at that, gorgeous. Now again, just the softest strokes. Just trying to take the harsh edges of it is all. That's wonderful. That's very nice. Okay, right, for the time being, You know what? I'm not done yet. I am not done yet. Yeah, for some reason, I keep trying to get away from this pin, and it won't let me go. I'm not done yet. So, I'm just going to darken some of these edges here. So I can come along and put a nice, a nice overtone, a nice highlighted tone, whenever I get the chance. Now again, I am not covering everything up here. Just leaving it blotchy, as it were. And the same here, just leaving it blotchy. Blotchy, that's a, that's a technical term. Blotchy, just leave it blotchy. And joking aside, the blotchiness will sell the idea of texture. And it will sell the idea of texture for you. Okay. Now, where do I see this? Like all grass patches, you have a little dark areas. Little shadowed areas, that the light isn't just getting to. All right, look at that. No, that's quite nice. Now, just one more thing, and I probably will call this a day. And the one more thing is just to soften these back trees here. Just softening the edges of them. They're way in the distance, so really shouldn't be seeing that much of them. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Very, very, very nice. And I think that's kind of ready just to. I'm wondering, should I put a wee building in here? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it in, and if I don't like it, I'll take it out. Okay. I'll just paint over it if I don't like it. And that's the joy of painting, I must say. Is that you don't like it, you just get rid of it. I'm going to do this over something wet, so it's just an idea of it for now. Just the Now, what I have done, I've made the fatal error of making it the same color as the sky, so it looks like sky is getting through. But I shall fix that right now. And it'll just going to run it down till it runs out. Look at that, just till it runs out. Okay, alright, for now, I'm unsure, just a little bit brighter at the top, a little bit along here. Bump, itty bump, itty bump. And just dragging it in this direction here. Like a little building. And of course I will tone it whenever I get the chance, but I probably will get rid of it. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, for now, folks, that will do the job. And I will come back. Oh, I'll tell you what, not quite yet. Still a few softenings to do. There. Lovely. Okay, right, that'll do me. Right, now I'll see you whenever I come back to finish it. So, of course, bye for now. Alright, folks, now back to this one. Now, I made a slight mistake on this one. Mistake's too strong a word. Is that whenever I was lifting it, I pulled off a little bit of that paint there. But not a big deal. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm the edges of the trees a little bit here before I go ahead fixing them. I'm just going to put in a bit of an orangey glaze on them. So that's some oxide red, some cadmium red. Very nice. Should be nice and some cadmium yellow. That should be nice and warm edges of this tree. Now I want this to be a glaze. I don't want it to be a painting on, just a thin layer of glaze. Now I'm taking most of it off the brush and just coming along the edges here, and I'll be wiping a lot of this off to suit. But I'm just warming this area a touch. Okay. Now this one here, I want this to be barely noticeable. Barely noticeable. I want the viewer to be thinking, what is that? What is that? Is that a wee house or something? You know, so again, another bit of a glaze here. Nice and warm. Just. Right, that's going a bit too far. So it has gone a bit too much. Okay, so here now, just want to make sure that I have a turning corner on this building. There we go. Now, and again, just with the top of it here, I don't want I want it to be a glaze. So I don't want to cover up that lightness too much. And I have gone and covered it up a little bit too much. So what I'll do is I'll just lay this down and then dab it off. Just a little bit. Just, I want to be gentle with this. Don't really want to be removing it. Just. There we go. Now it sets it into that a little bit. Okay. Getting there now. This one isn't too far away from being done. And as I say, I'm just going to be wiping some of this off now. Keeping the edges, they're really warm. And then when I come in to do the rest of the sky and fill this in and do the tree branches, it'll all begin to make sense, I hope. That's the plan. Whether it does or not is an entirely different thing. But what I will do is I'll work on this, or I'll fix this part of it up here. This little mistake, as it were. Well, let's see, now this isn't the glaze, this is being painted on. Now, is it bright enough? I think it's okay for the time being. Just covering a lot up. Look at that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up into the other part of the sky here, just bring this up a little bit, but it's going to be more of a scumble. Now I'm going to remove some of the paint off this brush. I'm going to scumble this color on, gripping it on. Look at that. Just scraping that on, folks. Giving it that little give you a nice gradation along here. Bit up in here too, just to brighten that area. Okay. Now, 3 branches will make this look a bit better, so it will. Oh, let me see here now. Just creating a... Oh, hold on a second, folks. I smelled something on the cooker. Now you can come with me while I stir my chicken. Alright. There's my chicken all stirred. Obviously you can't see it because I don't have a camera on it. But there we go. I think I'll just turn that off. And just let it sit in its own heat. Right, now back to it. Sorry for that little interruption. Excuse me. Now, where was I? Yes, creating some tree gaps here. Not very obvious in certain areas. Okay, getting there. Let's see here. Oh, don't want to do too much here, folks. Just bringing it in a little bit, just reshaping some of the edges here. Okay. Yes. Let's see him up in here, just giving it a bit of shape. And a nice little wee gap in there, just. Okay. That brings a little bit of life to it, you know, that we can kind of see through it, as it were. Alright, now the same on this side, a little bit on this side here, not more, but a little bit on this side here. A little bit brighter in this area at the front of it here. And then we'll go back again to a bit of a darker tone in here. There we go. Alright, now that's nice. Now let's bring in the edges here of the trees. Let's get them sorted. Oh, nice dark green here, folks. Dark greeny brown type of thing. So I'm going to use a little tiny bit of phthalo. I'm going to lay it down on top of what I have there. A little bit of raw umber really knocks it back. And I'm not going to do too much with this. A little bit more red, just to knock the green out of it. Okay, now let's create the edges of some of these trees here. And again, no, I don't want too much on that brush. Just dancing that around, folks, creating the sense of trees, branches. Now look at that. That's not very good, is it? Okay, let's take it off, as it were. And that's a bit better. Now, let's work on this area here. Lighten this tone a little bit here. And again, taking a good bit off the brush. And then bringing this up to here. Just lifting this tree a little bit. That's lovely. Okay, now this background thing of trees here, let's see, they're really off in the distance and barely noticeable, so I'm going to get myself a little round brush. And I'm just going to create a mist in the background here. That's all. Ooh, dropping my brush. A little bit of blue in it, a little bit of cerulean blue, just to take the heat out of it along the back here. A bit too much. And just look at that. I really don't want you to. I want you to have an idea of what they are. I don't want you to know what they are. They're literally just. Well, now I want to tell you what they are. Oh dear, oh dear. They're just background trees. I was going to do something there. Yes, a little bit of a glazing on it here along the edges, just to warm it up a bit. That sun is properly shining down on that. Okay. Now let's work on this area here. Excuse me, I need to cough. Sorry. Right. Now, a little bit of sunshine here, folks. A little bit coming through here. Now you can see that's the sun shining through there. Now give me a little bit more oxide red, make it a bit more orangey, as it were. We'll come over to these areas here, try and create the reflections here, folks. Okay, all right. Now, a little bit more orange. Just in this brighter part here. All right, now. Now I need to put in some darker trees here just to set everything back. Bring the trees forward and set everything back. Now I'm going to do that with a... where's my brown brushes? My round brushes. Yeah, I'm not sure if this one will do or not. I'll give it a go. It's just a cheap brown brush, nothing big about it. Right, so a little bit of darkness here, some raw umber, and some ultramarine blue, nice and cool, tiniest bit of black, and let's see how these fare. Okay, so drawing it in a tree, bump, 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 bump. Okay, and the same here. Jutting the brush about because it'll create them jagged edges, and that's what you're after. Yeah, very rarely do trees go perfectly straight. Now, you see the way it pushes that right back. And I just have a wee offshoot with this one here. Just to really push that into the background there. Now, one more. Well, there's more than one happening here, but a few will happen. There we go. Okay, now the other side here. That's just, this brush may not be as thin as I would like it to be, but we will give it a go and see. I can always change brush, which I think I may be well off to, you know. Let's see. I'm just being obstinate here. Just breaking that up, folks. Really not after anything else, just a few branches. Now let me have a wee look at that. I think that's nice. What I will do is I will lightly brighten the center of it here. A bit, just a bit. A little bit of white. In fact, I think I'm just going to go in here with pure white and let it mix on the palette here. Just in here. Bump, bump. Or not mix on the palette, sorry, mix on the paint. Just kind of slightly brightening that. I can always tone it back if I feel that I need to. Let me see. That's a bit too bright. A little bit of pure yellow, cadmium yellow. And just to really knock that back. Look at that. That really does the job. Lovely. Okay. Lovely. Okay, now, where are we here? Right, a little bit of grass and a little bit of working around these edges here and grounding these trees in a little bit. In fact, I'll do that now while I have the dark color. I'm just going to really scrape off the paint that's on this brush, and I'm just going to scumble this in. I just want to grind these trees in a little bit with a bit of a dark color. It probably needs to be a bit darker than what this is, so let me see. Look at that. Just grind those in. Creating a little patch here and there. Now, same again with this, the edgings of this here, along here. Okay, and the same here, just creating, putting it on and wiping it off, folks. Putting it on and wiping it off. And it leaves a trace behind, but it also darkens the area. And now, for the finishing touch, I think I'll add a little bit of grass here to the front. Just a little bit. This is a beat up brush, and all I'm doing is going to add a little bit of my grasses up into this area here, just a really beat up brush here, not worrying about this. Okay, yeah, it needs to be a little bit darker than that. Yes, it does. Okay. Yeah, just pushing that up into it there, folks. Giving the sense that the grass is growing up over it. Now what I might do is I might try and lighten this area here. But I will admit that I'm happy with it. Happy-ish with it. I'm just going to do a small experiment here. Already have that orange here, so I'm just going to lighten a few areas along here. Putting it on, scraping it off. Okay, so am I. I think I'm done with this now, folks. You see that wee hut in the background? Yeah. Wee trees and just having a wee look. Now, this here one here is kind of bugging me a bit. This tree here. I'm just going to finish it. Now my hands are a bit shaky here, so I'll use my IKEA maul stick on this one. Very good. Now a little bit of an orangey color here, might as well, because it have the light shine through it. All right, I think I'll end up working on it too much. I am just going to almost call it a day, but not quite. Just seeing this here a little bit. So let's just gently add a few more. Oh, and what I mean by that, there was just a bit too much red popping. I don't want the red to be there, but I don't want it to be engulfed in it, you know. So I just add a few more broken leaves and branches here and there just to help cover that up a touch. Now, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. There we go. There we go. A bit better. Okay, I think that'll do it, folks. Just going to have a wee look at the trees before I make up any decisions here. I think I'll give them a little tiny bit of brightness just down the right hand side of them. Just as the light is just touching it, no more. Just along here. Bump, bump, bump. Probably a bit brighter. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Along here. Bump, bump. Alrighty, okay. I think that'll do it. I want to end up ruining it for myself. So okay. Alright, folks. So if you would, as I say, I've started one of those wee membership things. If you might help if you could join up and all of that nonsense. I think that'll do it for now, and all the best, and I'll see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe, and bye for now, and all of that. Bye, 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 bye.